Hello and welcome to Erik Harrison, a podcast for all ages, where our motto is, why not? You listen to worse shit. It's Thursday, like it always is when I record podcasts, except for the one time I did it on Sunday and the fact that I've only ever done two of these. I'm in my bathroom. You may notice slightly echoier acoustics, but I think that's fun. Played the theme song, which today is the theme song from Friends. This is a sweet ass guitar riff, mid-90s fucking guitar riff. So someone told your life was gonna have some way. Smack that booty. Your dad's joke, not woke. Your love life is okay. It's like you're always fucking someone's rear. That song was not written by the Rembrandts, though it was obviously recorded by them and they had some kind of hit with it. The song was written by noted kitsch and pop art collector Allie Willis, who actually died on, I think, Christmas Eve last year, so just about a week ago. She was an amazing songwriter, by all accounts. She wrote a bunch of stuff that you know. September and Boogie Wonderland for Earth, Wind, and Fire, obviously. And apparently got the Tony for the score to the musical version of The Color Purple. So that was the whole arc of her career. Amazing, amazing woman. By counter, the Rembrandts did write and record the theme song for the Chinese version of Friends, which was a 6-episode miniseries retitled Planet Home Buddies. The theme song consists entirely of whistling. Link in the description, I guess. Which brings us to our first segment that we do every episode, which is the Erik Harrison Health Update. The Erik Harrison Health Update! I'm still having trouble with the sitting down and the standing up. Sitting down is the worst. I start to spin out like a top getting ready to fall over. It's pretty hilarious. For those of you just tuning in who aren't regular listeners, on Sunday, this is Thursday, I started experiencing pretty extreme vertigo. It has prevented me from going into work. There's no known cause. And I have a whole bunch of health appointments, and the American health care system sucks in exactly the ways that you thought that it did. I'm really hoping that this audio is usable. It's super echoey in my bathroom. Let me do this. I don't want to get out of the bathroom because I'm down now. Let me just open the door and see if that changes the oral quality to be a little less echoey. Is that better? I don't know. I'm not going to listen to this again before I post it online. So having some trouble with the standing, with the sitting. Laying down's a little better. Sleeping is really bad because I toss and turn. But I don't want any sympathy. Instead, let's direct our rage at Leanne Inverno, who didn't answer the phone last episode and thus deprived me of an interview segment and went from being friend of the show to enemy of the show. However, good news. I did manage to get a haircut today. And I will make a sexy picture of me and my new haircut, which has a lot more volume than my usual haircut. The picture for this podcast, I usually take a picture for each podcast. This one will be me lying in a pile on the floor because that's where I spend a lot of my time now that I am diseased, but with a real sexy new haircut. So look forward to that. The best part, actually, about this whole experience has been really the care of my wonderful girlfriend, Maggie, who, if you listen to last episode, when I woke up screaming in terror because of my new disease, decided to go to work. She came home after I recorded the podcast, and on her way home, she called. She said, "Hey, I know you've not been feeling well. Let me bring some dinner home, get some chicken sandwiches, because I love a chicken sandwich." I was like, "Yeah, thanks, baby. That's really great." And apparently, between getting the sandwich and coming home, she listened to the podcast. She burst in the door and she said, "Make me the villain on your podcast, will you? Well, guess who's not getting the chicken sandwich?" I tried to contest that, but then she said, "What are you going to do? Stand up and take it from me?" And she kind of had a point. But I told her that, of course, the villain of the show is not Maggie Brown. The villain of the show is Leanne Inverno, as longtime listeners all know. Other things for longtime listeners. shirt update. For those of you who've been listening since the beginning, we know that I've been giving away merchandise as a way of profiting off of my massive multimedia empire. Merchandise being t-shirts, specifically t-shirts from my dresser that are too grody to sleep in, that I have written the words Erik Harrison, a podcast in Sharpie upon. Initially, all you had to do was find me and contact me. I would send you a shirt, but the podcast has been wildly successful, with literally dozens of listens, and I ran out of shirts. So last episode, I instituted a charge of 25 cents per shirt to Venmo me, and I'll send you a shirt. These shirts, of course, instead of me sleeping in them, I'm merely going to spoon them. One gentle spoon, thrifted shirt, recycling in that way, and then I'll write Erik Harrison, a podcast on it. That has also been wildly successful. So I can't raise the price in good conscience. So I need to lower the margins. And the way to do that is to not give you a whole shirt. So from now on, if you've already contacted me, you already have a shirt, you're in good shape. But from now on, I still require a quarter. But I'm just going to send you a chunk of a shirt that I've cut off. So you might get a sleeve. You might get just the midriff. Maybe just a collar. Who knows? It'll be some chunk of a used shirt that I have spooned, that I've then written Erik Harrison, a podcast on. But in order to get that, you got to Venmo me 25 cents, along with an address that I can send it to you, or just a place where I can hand it to you if you know me, which you probably do, because, like I said, dozens of listeners. So that's where the merchandising is. In other making money off of this endeavor news, this episode brought to you by absolutely no one, because no one is still sponsoring, because I need 5,000 sponsors before I get 5,000 subscribers before I can get a sponsor. And we continue to not have a website. Visit us on the internet, no frickin' where, because I refuse to create a website until Squarespace or Wix or somebody sponsors me. It has been pointed out that I called them those assholes in the last episode, and that may prevent them from beginning the sponsorship. So we'll call them, I don't know, the beloved opposition. Does that work? They're not yet the sponsors. The beloved opposition. They are the beloved opposition of each other, Wix and Squarespace. And I am neutral territory. I'm Switzerland. And all you got to do to claim this territory is fork over that monies. I will make a website with whichever service sponsors me. If it's Wix, if it's Squarespace, if it's WordPress, if it's GeoCities, I will make my website using whoever sponsors me. I'll just tell you that right now. And I will talk only about how great you are and how everyone else sucks the shit directly out of a donkey's ass. So if that's the kind of sponsorship you want, dedicated, meaningful sponsorship, then contact me. Let's go to our regular segment that we do every episode of the podcast, which is where I read reviews of Erik Harrison, a podcast, that I've collected mostly in personal texts and in a few cases, Facebook messages. From one listener, quote, taking it as a personal insult that the pod is only on YouTube, the worst platform for car listening. That was Rebecca T., a longtime listener, Rebecca T. Next up, I feel like you should pay me 25 cents for having kissed by a rose in my head all night. That's superfan Allison H. Next up, when? Where? You have a podcast now? That's Tom Harrison, also known as my father. Next review. Okay, ... Not sure to be upset you didn't call me or be glad, ! At least you glad you mentioned me on air, ... Unless I'm appalled, in which case my lawyer will be in touch. That was also from Tom Harrison, my father. Another review from Tom Harrison, my father, posted directly below the other two. A lot of laughs here, almost like Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Tom Harrison. From a different listener, wonderful ramblings, my adopted son, love, admiration, inspiration, Christmas tree emoji, falling leaf emoji, 4-leaf clover emoji, double heart emoji, blue butterfly emoji, different flower emoji, different heart emoji. That was Natalie H., my dad's wife. And next up, Natalie says, I need my own podcast. That's Tom Harrison, a father. And finally, I sure did spend 20 minutes listening to this, also from Rebecca T., longtime listener. Thanks, guys. We appreciate that very much. If you could tell all 5,000 of your friends. That would be very helpful. Now we turn to the interview. Last episode, we couldn't reach our intended guest, Stacy Crummell, because Stacy was having drinks with my girlfriend at the time and could not come to the phone. We tried to reach enemy of the show, Leanne Denverno. She didn't answer the phone. It is currently, because I'm unwell, I have daytime to record this. So people are at work, at their real job. And of course, I would never be so crass to call a friend like Stacy, who I know I've promised you several times now, during the day and interrupt her work. But who I would call in the middle of the day is Leanne Denverno. And we'll just interrupt her work. So let's go ahead and give enemy of the show, Leanne Denverno, a call. Let's see if she answers. Let's just put her on speaker. And as per usual, I'm calling in the most ridiculous possible manner.
Hello?
Hey, Leanne?
Hey.
Hey, I really appreciate you being there. You're on my podcast again.
Oh, great. Episode 3?
This is episode 3. And so what I've done, and of course, I'm interrupting you at work, and I would apologize, but you're the enemy of the show now. I can't call Stacy at work because that'd be interrupting. But I have some questions for Stacy that I thought I would ask you. What's it like?
Am I answering as me or am I answering as Stacy?
Well, I don't know that it really matters. You just respond as feels right. Yeah, actually answer as Stacy. I think that would be fun. All right, Leanne Denverno, also known as Stacy Crummell. What's it like being a constant source of light and love to all around you?
See, everyone always says that about me, but really it's everyone else that brings the light into my life.
Wow. Okay. That's a gorgeous sentiment to hear at the beginning of the year. And obviously you're known for your wellness expertise.
I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry. Can you repeat that, please?
Obviously you're known for your wellness expertise. And it's the New Year's and I'm making resolutions. What can you tell me about deepening my yoga practice or teas to employ to detox as we go into 2020?
Well, I think you just need to not be afraid of putting yourself out there and go out and, try different kinds of practices and really see which one works best for you.
Thanks, Stacy Crummell. And Crummell is an interesting last name. What is the ethnological origin of Crummell? Could you give me your entire family history?
Yes. Crummell, I believe, is German.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's German.
But my family is, basically European, all over different countries.
So you're white? Is that what you're saying? Crummell's a white name?
Yes, you could say that.
Are you saying that? Is what I want to know, Stacy Crummell.
Yes, Stacy Crummell is saying that.
Stacy Crummell is saying.
On the record.
Is that a thing you're proud of, Stacy?
Am I proud of being white?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that.
Oh, what would you say, Stacy Crummell?
There's a lot of connotations to that, and I don't want to be
You know what? I'm not entirely sure that we want you on the show anymore, Stacy Crummell, to the things you just said. Okay. That was Stacy Crummell as played by Leanne Denverno. And I don't know that we'll have either of them back on the show after what you just heard. Woof. Thanks for coming on. This has been Erik Harrison, a podcast by, for, and about Erik Harrison. Let's play that theme song. I'll be there for shrooms if you're there for me too. Do 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 do.